What if I told you there's a hidden category of six-figure remote jobs that almost no one talks about? Jobs where companies like United Health Group, IBM, and General Electric are actively searching for talent. Yet most people don't even know these roles exist. Picture this. You wake up, grab your coffee, and start your day from home, earning $120,000 a year. No commute, no office drama, just real opportunities for growth. These aren't pipe dreams. They're real positions waiting to be filled. And in this video, I'll guide you through all 7 of them, showing you how to take the first step. The hidden struggle everyone ignores. Sarah wakes up at 5:30 a.m. every morning, rushing to catch a crowded train for a job that barely covers her rent. She spends hours stuck in traffic or crammed into public transit, only to sit through endless meetings that could have been emails. Meanwhile, her Instagram feed is filled with influencers flaunting their easy 6-figure remote lifestyles. It's a frustrating cycle, and Sarah's story isn't unique. It's a reality for millions. The numbers paint a stark picture. While 87% of workers today want remote positions, only 10% of job postings actually offer that flexibility. This mismatch leaves everyone scrambling for the same oversaturated remote coding jobs, ignoring other lucrative opportunities. In fact, there are 7 career paths offering salaries between $77,000 and $180,000 that most people overlook entirely. And here's the surprising part. Industries like finance are leading the charge in remote work adoption, with employees working from home an average of 2.41 days a week. Companies are adapting faster than most job seekers realize, but the disconnect persists. Last year, 70% of professionals considered switching careers, according to FlexJobs. But here's the problem. Most of them focused on the wrong opportunities. They chased the same overhyped work-from-home gigs, completely missing the hidden goldmine roles we're about to reveal. These aren't hypothetical jobs. Real people are landing these positions right now, while the rest of the workforce fights over the same 10% of remote listings. Data Taxonomy Specialist, the $140,000 job you've never heard of. Picture this. You get paid 6 figures to organize data like a digital librarian. That's a normal Tuesday for data taxonomy specialists. Every company today is drowning in information, customer records, sales data, research. But without someone to structure it, 73% of that data goes completely unused, according to IBM. These specialists are the ones who bring order to the chaos. The salary range for this role is impressive, $112,000 to $180,000 depending on the industry. And here's the kicker. You don't need a PhD to get started. Certifications like the Certified Data Management Professional, CDMP, or DAMA often carry more weight than traditional degrees. So, what does a day in this job actually look like? Imagine walking into a room filled with tangled wires and turning it into a neatly organized closet. That's essentially what you'll do, but with digital information. You'll design data frameworks, create tagging systems, and set up retrieval protocols. It's about logic and organization, not complex math. If you've ever organized a messy Pinterest board or sorted your Spotify playlists into perfect categories, you already have the foundational skills. Companies need people who can take messy, unstructured data and turn it into something usable. The easiest way to start? Grab the free Google Data Analytics certificate to learn the basics, then build a portfolio with real projects on Kaggle. Show employers you can transform chaos into clarity, and you'll be well on your way to a career as a data taxonomy specialist. Enterprise Risk Modeling Analyst, the $155,000 fortune teller. Some companies pay people $155,000 a year to predict disasters before they happen. These enterprise risk modeling analysts don't use crystal balls. They use data to spot financial crises, supply chain collapses, and market crashes before they wreck a business. After the pandemic, corporations realize they can't afford to be caught off guard again. That's why 92% of Fortune 500 companies now have entire teams dedicated to this work. The salary range shows how serious companies are about this role. $130,000 to $175,000 in financial services alone. But here's the catch. This job isn't just about crunching numbers. Imagine being a translator, bridging 2 worlds. About 40% of the work involves taking complex risk models and turning them into simple, actionable stories that executives can actually use. Sure, you'll need SQL and Python to process the data, but you'll also need to explain why those numbers matter to people who might not know a pivot table from a pie chart. Take Sarah, for example. She spent 5 years as an insurance adjuster, assessing damage claims and explaining policies to clients. When she decided to pivot into risk modeling, she realized her experience gave her a head start. She already knew how to evaluate risks and communicate them clearly. After passing a few actuarial exams and earning her Financial Risk Manager (FRM) certification, she landed a job at a major financial firm. Now, she's helping companies prepare for everything from market crashes to climate disasters. Speaking of climate, this is one of the fastest growing areas in risk modeling. Demand for analysts who can predict how weather disasters and regulations will impact businesses has skyrocketed, up 300% in just the past year. Companies need answers to questions like, if this hurricane hits Florida, how much will our insurance costs rise? Or if carbon taxes double next year, which of our factories will lose profitability? It's a high-stakes game, and businesses are scrambling to find people who can help them stay ahead. If you're wondering how to break into this field, certifications are your best bet. Passing actuarial exams and earning an FRM certification proves you understand how to measure and manage financial dangers. Many firms will interview you on the spot if you have these credentials because they're tired of sifting through applicants who don't know the difference between market risk and credit risk. And if you've worked in a role like Sarah's, you might already have the skills to make the leap. It's all about showing you can assess risks, crunch the numbers, and communicate the results in a way that drives decisions. Cybersecurity Data Guardian, the $125,000 digital bodyguard. Forget the Hollywood image of hackers in hoodies. Today's cybersecurity data guardians are more like digital bodyguards, safeguarding a company's data fortress from relentless attacks. These professionals often work remotely, earning six-figure salaries to protect sensitive information, and their day-to-day reality is far from the dark, dramatic stereotypes. Every time you hear about another massive data breach, it's a reminder of the growing demand for these specialized protectors. But here's the twist. While many assume coding skills are the golden ticket, the real game changer in this field is communication. The salary range for cybersecurity data guardians typically falls between $105,000 and $150,000, with healthcare companies offering the highest pay. Why? Medical records are some of the most valuable assets on the black market, worth 10 times more than credit card information. U.S. News even ranks this as one of the top jobs that don't require a traditional degree, meaning you can break into the field without drowning in student debt if you plan strategically. A typical day in this role revolves around 3 core tasks: security audits, policy creation, and employee training. You'll inspect systems for vulnerabilities, draft rules about who can access what data, and teach employees how to avoid phishing scams. Here's a staggering statistic: 72% of data breaches happen because of human error, not technical failures. That's why companies are willing to pay top dollar for someone who can break down complex security concepts into plain, relatable language for non-tech-savvy employees. Take Sarah, for example. She spent years in customer service, handling frustrated customers and explaining complicated billing issues. When she transitioned into cybersecurity, those same skills made her a standout. She could simplify technical jargon into actionable advice, helping employees understand how to protect sensitive data. The technical side of cybersecurity can be learned, but the ability to communicate effectively? That's a rare and highly sought-after talent. The fastest way to get started in this field is by earning the CompTIA Security Plus certification. It covers all the basics and costs a fraction of a college degree. Once you've got that under your belt, you can specialize in compliance frameworks like HIPAA for healthcare or GDPR for international companies. These areas are gold mines because every hospital and global corporation needs experts who understand the rules and can ensure their data fortress stays secure. Technical Documentation Strategist, the $135,000 professional explainer. Getting paid 6 figures to translate engineer speak into plain English? That's the daily reality for technical documentation strategists. As technology grows more complex, companies are desperate for people who can explain their products in ways customers and employees actually understand. This role requires more than just writing. It's about understanding complex systems and making them accessible. The salary range reflects how valuable this skill is. $115,000 to $160,000 in tech and medical device industries. Why do companies pay so much? Because poor documentation is a silent killer. A staggering 68% of software projects fail due to unclear or incomplete documentation. Imagine spending years developing a product, only to watch it flop because no one can figure out how to use it. That's where technical documentation, strategists come in. They create user manuals, API guides, and knowledge base articles that transform confusion into clarity. Tools like Madcap Flare and Markdown help streamline the process, but the real magic lies in bridging the gap between engineers and end users. One strategist described it as translating a foreign language into something your grandma could understand. Here's a real-world example. A startup was on the verge of launching a groundbreaking medical device, but their user manual was a mess, full of jargon and missing critical steps. A technical writer stepped in, rewrote the manual, and tested it with real users. The result? A smooth product launch and rave reviews from customers who found the device easy to use. That's the kind of impact this role can have. The Certified Professional Technical Communicator, CPTC, certification is the gold standard in this field. It proves you know how to structure information effectively. But here's the shortcut no one talks about. If you've worked tech support, you're already halfway there. Answering frustrated customer calls teaches you how regular people think. Exactly what most technical writers lack. Combine that experience with basic documentation skills, and you can land interviews even without a degree. Want to break into this field fast? Start by documenting open source projects on GitHub. Pick a project with terrible docs, there are plenty, and rewrite them properly. This builds a portfolio that shows employers you can take gibberish and turn it into usable instructions. Include before and after examples to demonstrate your impact. One technical writer landed a $130,000 remote job after fixing the documentation for 3 small open source tools. No prior experience needed. Technical writers work across industries, from aerospace to healthcare. In medical devices, they create manuals that keep surgeons from misusing equipment. In finance, they explain API integrations to developers. The key is collaborating with subject matter experts, SMEs, to extract information without drowning in jargon. The best writers don't need to be experts themselves. They just need to ask the right questions and organize the answers clearly. The Society for Technical Communication, STC, offers resources for aspiring writers, including training on how to structure different document types. But here's the real secret. Successful portfolios tell a story. Don't just show finished manuals, explain the process you used to create them. How did you interview SMEs? How did you test the docs with real users? Employers care more about your method than your final product. Enterprise Lead Management Coordinator, the $120,000 matchmaker. Enterprise Lead Management Coordinators are the invisible force behind high-performing sales teams. They don't close deals themselves. They make sure the right deals get to the right people at the right time. In remote work environments, this role has become its own specialty because sales teams can't walk over to each other's desks anymore. The salary range reflects how critical this job has become. $95,000 to $140,000, with commission potential on top of that. Salesforce reports that 57% of deals fall through because of poor handoffs between team members. That's more than half of all potential revenue lost because someone dropped the ball. Enterprise Lead Management Coordinators fix that by tracking every lead through the pipeline, ensuring nothing slips through the cracks, and mediating conflicts when sales reps clash over territories or commissions. This role isn't about being the best salesperson. It's about being the best organizer, the one who keeps the entire sales machine running smoothly. The skills that matter most here are CRM mastery and conflict resolution. You'll live in tools like Salesforce, HubSpot, or Zoho, tracking which leads are hot and which are going cold. But the real value comes from understanding how to get sales teams to work together seamlessly. Remote sales teams often struggle with miscommunication, so coordinators who can keep everyone aligned are indispensable. Think of it as matchmaking for sales, pairing the right lead with the right rep at the right time to close the deal. Here's something most job postings won't tell you. Experience as a restaurant host is one of the best backgrounds for this role. Picture this. A former restaurant host named Sarah spent years juggling seating charts, calming frustrated customers, and keeping the dining room running during chaotic dinner rushes. When she transitioned into lead management, those same skills, managing competing priorities, resolving conflicts, and staying calm under pressure, helped her excel. She quickly became the go-to person for untangling messy pipelines and ensuring every lead found its perfect match. If you've ever juggled a packed reservation book while soothing an angry customer, you already have the core abilities for this job. Breaking into this field doesn't require a sales background. Start with the free HubSpot CRM certification to learn the basics of lead tracking. Then pick an industry, tech, healthcare, or finance are always hiring, and study how sales work in that space. The key is showing employers you can take chaos and turn it into a structured process. Why these jobs are AI-proof for now. AI promises to transform jobs, but these 7 roles are becoming more valuable because of it. The key difference: these positions rely on human judgment calls that algorithms can't replicate. While AI excels at repetitive tasks, it falters when faced with nuanced decision-making and unpredictable situations. For example, cybersecurity roles are growing 17% despite advances in automated security tools. Think of AI as a powerful engine. It can process vast amounts of data, but it still needs a skilled driver to navigate complex terrain. Cybersecurity professionals act as that driver, investigating anomalies flagged by AI, but requiring human insight to interpret. IBM's research highlights another area where human expertise is indispensable: data taxonomy. AI generates mountains of processed data, but organizing and making sense of it falls to humans. Justina Nixon-Saintel from IBM explains, AI is going to impact almost every role and industry. You need to understand practical AI applications for your role. This underscores the messy reality of corporate data. AI can sort it, but human oversight ensures it's accurate and actionable. Without skilled data specialists, companies risk drowning in disorganized information. Risk assessment offers another example of AI's limitations. Algorithms can crunch numbers faster than any human, but they can't weigh intangible factors like company culture shifts or emerging geopolitical risks. Enterprise risk modeling analysts remain indispensable because they interpret data in context, something AI struggles to do. It's like having a GPS that provides directions but can't account for road closures or detours. Human judgment fills in those gaps. Technical communication highlights yet another gap in AI capabilities. Even the most advanced language models can't reliably explain complex technical concepts to non-experts. That's why technical documentation strategists, who earn 6 figures, are so valuable. They combine deep understanding with the ability to tailor explanations for specific audiences, bridging the gap between technical jargon and practical understanding. Gartner's research found that 61% of remote jobs require skills AI can't mimic, with emotional intelligence topping the list. No algorithm can resolve conflicts between sales teams or read subtle cues in remote meetings. Enterprise lead management coordinators thrive because they navigate human dynamics that baffle even sophisticated AI systems. Picture AI as a translator. It can process words, but it can't grasp the emotional subtext behind them. Humans bring the empathy and nuance that machines lack. The irony? AI makes these jobs more valuable, not less. As companies adopt more automation, they need humans to oversee the systems, explain their outputs, and make judgment calls. Cybersecurity Data Guardians don't just monitor systems. They investigate flagged anomalies that AI can't comprehend. Similarly, risk analysts, data specialists, and technical communicators ensure that AI's outputs are meaningful and actionable. In a world increasingly driven by automation, it's human judgment that keeps everything on track. The degree myth: how to break in without student debt. The truth about these 6-figure remote jobs? Companies care more about what you can do than where you studied. Traditional education paths often miss these emerging roles. Most colleges aren't even teaching them yet. Employers are so desperate for talent that 42% of high-paying remote jobs no longer require degrees, according to U.S. News. FlexJobs lists 20 specific remote roles open to non-graduates right now, including several we've covered like Cybersecurity Data Guardian and Technical Documentation Strategist. This shift is reshaping hiring practices. IBM, for example, now publicly prioritizes skills over diplomas. Their VP of Workforce Transformation, Justina Nixon-Saintel, explains, AI is going to impact almost every role and industry. You need to understand practical AI applications for your role. This creates opportunities for people who skipped college or studied unrelated fields. Your unrelated job experience might even be the perfect foundation. That restaurant host experience? It's a great fit for enterprise lead management. Those customer service years? They translate seamlessly into cybersecurity communication roles. Alternative pathways are opening hidden doors to these positions. Industry certifications like CompTIA Security Plus or HubSpot CRM training take weeks, not years, and cost a fraction of college tuition. Apprenticeship programs let you earn while learning. The most powerful option? Building a portfolio that solves real business problems. Create case studies showing how you'd approach specific challenges in your target field. For data taxonomy, organize a messy public dataset and document your process. For technical writing, improve documentation for an open source project. These practical examples demonstrate your skills far better than a degree ever could. The IT sector highlights how effective skills-based hiring can be. Technical certifications often increase starting salaries by 15 to 25%. Boot camps condense years of training into months. Web developers land jobs with HTML/CSS/JavaScript skills and GitHub portfolios. No degree required. Digital content creators prove their worth through measurable campaign results, not diplomas. These examples show the new reality. What you can do matters more than where you studied. Your first step? Audit your existing skills against one target role. That retail job taught you conflict resolution, perfect for sales coordination. Those volunteer hours organizing events. That's project management experience applicable to risk modeling. Document these transferable skills clearly. Then choose one certification to complete in 30 days, like Google's Data Analytics Certificate or HubSpot's free CRM training. These provide structured learning without the 4-year commitment. Take the story of a former barista who transitioned to a $120,000 remote enterprise-led management role in just 9 months. She started with the free HubSpot certification, then documented how she'd improve lead handoffs at her coffee shop, complete with metrics. She networked in industry Slack groups and landed the job. Another candidate secured a technical documentation strategist position by rewriting help articles for 3 small SaaS companies. No prior experience needed. The 90-day transition plan that actually works. You can go from your current job to a 6-figure remote role in 90 days. The secret: most career advice skips the most important part, the first 30 days. You don't need to master everything about your new field. Instead, focus on the 20% of skills that deliver 80% of the results. Let's break it down into 3 actionable phases. Phase 1. Reframe your experience. Start by identifying transferable skills from your current role. Look at your daily tasks through a new lens. For example, that retail job? It's not just customer service. It's conflict resolution and sales coordination. Those spreadsheet reports you create? That's data analysis. A former teacher I know transitioned into a $110,000 technical writing role by reframing her experience. She didn't just teach. She simplified complex concepts for students. Exactly what technical writers do. Make a list of every skill you use at work, even the ones that seem basic. Customer service translates to cybersecurity communication. Project management applies to risk modeling. Organization skills? Perfect for data taxonomy. The key is to reframe your experience in terms of the skills employers value. Instead of saying, I worked at a coffee shop, say, I managed high-pressure customer interactions and coordinated multiple orders simultaneously. These are the same skills enterprise lead management coordinators use daily. Phase 2. Targeted learning. Once you've reframed your experience, it's time to fill in the gaps with focused learning. Certifications and micro-courses are your best friends here. Programs like Google Certificates or CompTIA Security Plus focus on practical skills employers need and can be completed in weeks, not years. For example, Google's Data Analytics Certificate costs under $300 and takes about 6 months to complete. Time management is critical. Dedicate just 1 hour a day to learning. Break it into small, manageable sections instead of trying to binge learn. Many certifications are self-paced, so you can fit them into your schedule. The HubSpot CRM certification, for instance, takes about 10 hours total. With consistent effort, you could finish it in 2 weeks. These credentials prove you have the basics down, which is often enough to get your foot in the door. Think of this phase like building momentum. You're not trying to master everything at once. You're focusing on the essentials that will push you forward. It's like riding a bike. You only need a few strong pushes to get moving, and the rest becomes easier as you go. Phase 3, real-world application. This is where most people miss the mark. Strategic volunteering can give you the hands-on experience employers want. Offer to document processes for a small business or help a nonprofit organize their donor data. These projects count as real-world experience and can become portfolio pieces. One aspiring data taxonomy specialist I know volunteered to categorize a local museum's digital archives. That project not only gave her practical experience, but also helped her land a $95,000 job offer 3 months later. The key is to treat these opportunities like stepping stones. They're not just volunteering. They're building your professional portfolio. Document everything you learn publicly. Start a LinkedIn profile or a simple website to showcase your progress. Post about challenges you solve during your learning journey. Recruiters actively search for candidates who demonstrate real-world application of skills. A GitHub profile with documentation projects or a Notion page showing your certification progress can make you stand out. By following these 3 phases, reframing your experience, targeted learning, and real-world application, you can transition into a high-paying remote role in just 90 days. Focus on the 20% of skills that matter most, and you'll be amazed at how quickly you can build momentum toward your new career. Who's hiring right now, and how to find them? The best remote jobs aren't on LinkedIn. They're hidden in places most job seekers never look, and that's why you have an advantage right now. Applicant tracking systems reject most candidates before a human ever sees their application. But there's a way around that. You just need to know where companies are really hiring. Healthcare tech, fintech, and SaaS companies are leading the charge in remote hiring. United Health Group posted over 1,200 remote roles last quarter alone. These are high-paying jobs in data, risk modeling, and cybersecurity. The catch: many of these openings never make it to public job boards. They're often filled through employee referrals or niche hiring channels before they're even posted. Professional associations and niche Slack groups are goldmines for unadvertised roles. According to FlexJobs, 58% of hires come through employee referrals. Networking isn't just helpful, it's the most effective way to land these jobs. Join industry-specific groups where hiring managers hang out. Participate in discussions. Share insights. The goal is to build relationships, so when an opening comes up, you're the first person they think of. Take Sarah, for example. She was a data analyst looking to transition into healthcare tech. By joining a professional association focused on health data management, she attended virtual events, asked thoughtful questions, and shared her expertise in group discussions. A few months later, a hiring manager she'd connected with reached out about a role that wasn't publicly listed. Sarah got the job, bypassing the traditional application process entirely. Here's another tactic most people overlook: comment on executives' blog posts. Many industry leaders write about trends or challenges their teams face. Engage with their content thoughtfully. Ask smart questions. This puts you on their radar in a way a resume never could. One candidate landed an interview at a major tech company just by consistently contributing to a VP's LinkedIn posts about data taxonomy challenges. The hidden job market works differently than traditional applications. Instead of competing against thousands, you're often one of a handful of candidates. Companies prefer hiring through referrals because it's faster and lower risk. That's why you need to shift your strategy from applying to connecting. Start conversations with people in your target roles. Ask about their work. Most will happily share advice, and some might even refer you if they like you. Healthcare is one of the hottest sectors for remote work right now. Companies like CVS Health and United Health Group are hiring for roles in data analysis, compliance, and risk management. These positions often require specific certifications, but not always degrees. If you're targeting this space, get familiar with HIPAA regulations and healthcare data standards. Even basic knowledge can set you apart. Fintech is another industry with massive remote opportunities. Companies need risk modeling analysts, cybersecurity specialists, and documentation experts who understand financial systems. The key here is showing you grasp both the technical and regulatory sides of finance. Certifications like FRM, Financial Risk Manager, or experience with banking compliance can open doors. SaaS companies are quietly hiring for remote technical writers, data specialists, and sales coordinators. These roles often fly under the radar because they're filled through internal networks. If you want in, start following SaaS executives on Twitter or LinkedIn. Many share insights about team growth or upcoming projects, clues that hiring is coming. Employee referrals account for the majority of hires because they reduce risk for companies. A referral comes with a built-in endorsement. That's why your goal should be getting referred, not just applying. Reach out to people in your network who work at target companies. Offer value first. Share an article they might find useful or congratulate them on a work anniversary. Then, when the time is right, ask if they'd be open to sharing advice about breaking into their company. Professional associations are underrated networking hubs. Groups like the Society for Technical Communication or ISACA, for cybersecurity professionals, host events and job boards most people never see. Membership often costs less than $100 a year, and the ROI can be huge. Many associations have private job boards where companies post roles exclusively to members. Slack and Discord communities are where many remote workers and hiring managers connect. Search for groups related to your target industry. Terms like remote tech writers or healthcare data professionals often yield active communities. Participate consistently before asking for help. Share resources, answer questions, and build credibility. Over time, opportunities will come up organically. Company alumni networks are another hidden resource. Many former employees stay connected through LinkedIn groups or private forums. These people often know about unposted roles or can refer you directly. If you've ever worked at a company with a large remote workforce, check if they have an alumni group. Think of the hidden job market as a series of secret doors. Networking is the key that unlocks them. Start small. Comment on posts from people in your desired role. Join a professional association. Attend virtual meetups. The goal isn't to land a job immediately. It's to position yourself so when opportunities arise, you're top of mind. The portfolio that gets you hired, with examples. Resumes don't cut it anymore. Hiring managers for these six-figure remote jobs want to see proof you can do the work. A list of where you've worked isn't enough. 82% of them prefer portfolios over resumes, according to FlexJobs. But most candidates make one critical mistake. They treat their portfolio like a trophy case when it should be a storybook. Take technical writing portfolios. Weak ones just show finished. Manuals. Strong ones document the entire process. How they interviewed subject matter experts, tested drafts with real users, and improved clarity based on feedback. One candidate landed a $130,000 remote job by including before and after examples of API documentation they redesigned. The before was a confusing technical mess. The after had clear code samples and troubleshooting guides. That comparison showed impact better than any resume bullet point. For data taxonomy roles, successful portfolios explain the thinking behind the organization system, not just display organized datasets. One standout portfolio showed how the candidate took a messy public healthcare dataset and created a tagging structure that reduced search time by 40%. They included screenshots of their process and quotes from a mock stakeholder praising the improvements. Seeing how you solve real problems is what gets hiring managers excited. The tools you use can help tell your story. GitHub works for technical roles where you need to show code or documentation samples. Notion is perfect for project management or coordination roles. You can create case studies with embedded process flows. Behance suits creative positions like instructional design. But the platform matters less than the content. One cybersecurity candidate used a simple Google site to showcase their Security Plus certification progress. Mock policy documents they created, and before / after examples of security training materials they improved. That got them hired over candidates with fancier websites, but weaker content. What separates good portfolios from great ones is how well they show transformation. Don't just present the polished final product, include the journey. For example, one enterprise risk analyst candidate shared their first attempt at a climate risk model alongside the refined version they created after researching industry standards. They even included notes about what went wrong, and how they fixed it. That vulnerability and growth made them stand out. Similarly, a technical writer redesigned the help center for a small SaaS company with permission and included metrics showing reduced support tickets after their changes. Real-world impact like that beats candidates with fancier degrees. Measurable results are essential. Created documentation isn't enough. Reduced customer support tickets by 30% through improved knowledge base articles shows value. For sales coordination roles, highlight metrics like shortened lead response time from 48 hours to 6 hours by implementing new CRM workflows. Even if you're new to the field, you can create mock projects with estimated impacts. One aspiring data taxonomy specialist organized a public dataset and projected how their system could save 10 hours per week in search time. That forward-thinking approach got them interviews. The learning journey itself can be powerful portfolio content. Documenting your certification progress or skill building shows initiative and persistence. One cybersecurity candidate recorded their 90-day journey from zero knowledge to Security Plus certification. They included practice tests, notes from labs, and reflections on challenges. This demonstrated not just their technical skills, but also their determination to grow. That portfolio helped them land their dream job, even without formal experience. Case studies work better than work samples. Instead of just showing a finished risk assessment, build a case study around it. Describe the fictional company's challenges, your research process, the tools you used, and your recommendations. Make it feel real. One standout portfolio for an enterprise risk role included a fictional but plausible scenario about a manufacturing company facing supply chain risks. The candidate walked through their analysis step by step, complete with mock interviews with company executives. It showed they understood the role's realities. Before and after examples are one of the most effective ways to prove your skills. Find poorly organized data, confusing documentation, or inefficient processes in the wild. Then fix them. Document the original state, your improvements, and why they matter. Whether it's redesigning a help center, improving a data set, or streamlining a workflow, showing the transformation is what makes your portfolio memorable. The complete list, 7 six-figure remote jobs revealed. Here are all 7 six-figure remote jobs in one place, complete with salary ranges and companies currently hiring. Think of these roles as hidden treasures in the job market. High pay, low competition, and surprising opportunities for growth. Let's dive in and uncover them. First up, Data Taxonomy Specialists. These professionals earn between $112,000 and $180,000 for transforming chaotic data into organized, usable systems. Companies like IBM and Elsevier are actively hiring, and those with expertise in niche industries like healthcare or finance can command salaries at the higher end of the range. Next, we have Enterprise Risk Modeling Analysts, earning $130,000 to $175,000. These analysts are like modern-day fortune tellers for businesses, using data to predict financial disasters before they strike. Aon and Marsh are leading the charge in hiring, especially for specialists who focus on emerging risks like climate change or supply chain disruptions, areas where traditional models often fall short. Cybersecurity Data Guardians follow, with salaries ranging from $105,000 to $150,000. These professionals protect sensitive information remotely, and companies like United Health and Anthem are eager to bring them on board. Interestingly, the highest-paid guardians aren't just tech-savvy. They're also excellent communicators who can explain security policies to non-technical employees, bridging the gap between IT and the rest of the organization. Then there are technical documentation strategists, earning $115,000 to $160,000. These roles are all about translating complex technical concepts into plain English. Google and Medtronic are hiring for their software and medical device divisions, and the top earners in this field don't just write well. They deeply understand the products they document, anticipating user confusion before it even arises. Enterprise lead management coordinators come next, with salaries between $95,000 and $140,000. These specialists optimize sales pipelines, ensuring smooth handoffs between sales teams. Companies like Salesforce and HubSpot are hiring, and 83% of these roles are fully remote, offering unmatched flexibility. The best coordinators excel at conflict resolution and mastering CRM systems, making them indispensable to their teams. Finally, 2 bonus roles, one of which pays up to $190,000, are waiting to be discovered in the downloadable guide below. These positions follow the same pattern: high demand, remote flexibility, and salaries that outpace traditional office jobs. Think of them as the crown jewels of this treasure map, waiting for the right person to claim them. Each of these roles offers more than just a paycheck. They're opportunities to carve out a unique, rewarding career path while enjoying the freedom of remote work. Which one will you uncover next? The dark side of remote 6-figure jobs. Those 6-figure remote jobs come with trade-offs nobody talks about. The isolation hits first. You'll miss the random office conversations, the quick desk-side questions, the energy of being around people. 22% of remote workers struggle with work-life balance, according to Flolu research. Your home becomes your office, and suddenly you're checking emails at midnight because your laptop is right there. I remember a friend who landed a dream remote job with a 6-figure salary. At first, it felt like freedom, no commute, flexible hours, and a big paycheck. But within months, the cracks started to show. She was working late into the night to keep up with global teams, barely leaving her apartment for days at a time. The burnout hit hard, and she realized the trade-off wasn't worth it. Some companies use high salaries to mask toxic cultures. They'll pay $150,000, but expect you online 24/7. Vague performance metrics make it worse. You never know if you're doing enough. One cybersecurity professional shared how their fully remote job required them to join 6 a.m. meetings with Singapore teams and 9 p.m. calls with European offices. The salary was great, but the burnout came fast. Time zone chaos adds invisible stress. When your team spans 5 time zones, someone's always working odd hours. You might finish your day just as your colleague in Dubai starts theirs. The best remote companies structure their teams by time zones or set core overlap hours. The worst, they expect everyone to adapt to headquarters' schedule, no matter where they live. Proximity bias is real. A KPMG survey found 87% of CEOs favor office workers for promotions and raises. Fully remote employees are 35% more likely to get laid off than hybrid workers. Why? Managers find it easier to cut people they've never met in person. One data analyst discovered this the hard way when their entire remote team got axed while the in-office group stayed intact. The always-on trap catches many remote workers. 40% struggle to disconnect after hours, according to research. Without a commute to mark the end of your day, work bleeds into personal time. Your couch becomes your conference room. Your kitchen table turns into your desk. Boundaries vanish unless you enforce them. Loneliness creeps in quietly. 23% of remote workers report feeling isolated. You'll miss the camaraderie of shared lunches and coffee breaks. Virtual happy hours can't replace real human connection. One technical writer described going days without speaking to anyone outside Zoom calls. The silence gets loud after a while. Career growth slows down remotely. Promotions often go to visible office workers, while remote employees get overlooked. One enterprise risk. Modeler watched less experienced colleagues advance faster simply because they shared elevators with executives. Remote work improves diversity in hiring. Applications from women and minorities jump 15 to 33% for remote roles per Wharton research, but advancement remains unequal. The solution starts before you accept the job. Ask pointed questions during interviews to protect your work-life balance. What are core working hours? This helps you understand if the company respects boundaries or expects you to be available 24/7. How does the company measure performance for remote roles? Clear metrics prevent the stress of constantly wondering if you're meeting expectations. What's the promotion path for remote employees? This ensures you won't be overlooked for career growth just because you're not in the office. How often do teams meet in person? Knowing this helps you gauge how much effort the company puts into fostering connection and collaboration. Set physical and temporal boundaries immediately. Designate a workspace, even if it's just a corner of your bedroom. Stick to set work hours. Use a separate computer for personal stuff. One cybersecurity pro keeps work laptops in a drawer after 6 p.m. to force separation. Combat isolation proactively. Join virtual co-working sessions. Schedule regular video coffee chats with colleagues. Attend industry events to build external networks. One technical writer started a monthly documentation critique group that became both professional development and and social outlet. Your first 3 steps, starting tomorrow morning. Most people never start because they don't know where to begin. Here's the truth. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to take the first 3 steps. Tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, start with this. Step 1. Audit your existing skills against one target role. According to FlexJobs, 89% of people underestimate their transferable skills. Think of it like uncovering hidden tools in your toolbox. That customer service job? It taught you conflict resolution, a skill perfect for enterprise lead management. Those spreadsheet reports you create? That's data analysis experience, ideal for risk modeling. Start by listing every skill you use daily, no matter how small: organization, problem solving, explaining complex ideas. These are the seeds of 6-figure remote jobs. One teacher transitioned into technical writing by realizing her lesson plans proved she could break down complicated topics. Your background likely holds more relevant skills than you realize. Step 2. Choose one certification to complete in 30 days. Google certificate graduates report a 75% career impact within 6 months. For cybersecurity, start with CompTIA Security Plus. For data roles, try Google's Data Analytics Certificate. These programs take weeks, not years, and cost under $300. The key is picking one focused program and finishing it fast. Micro courses have 3x higher completion rates than degrees because they're designed for busy adults. Even listing in progress, HubSpot CRM certification on LinkedIn can open doors. Employers value active learning over waiting until you feel fully ready. Step 3. Join one niche community for your target industry today. Not generic career groups, specific ones like the Society for Technical Communication or /cybersecurity. These are where hiring managers and insiders share unposted jobs and advice. Think of it as planting yourself in fertile soil. Participate before asking for help. Answer questions, share resources. One data specialist landed a $120,000 role after consistently contributing to a Slack group about healthcare data. Relationships often beat applications. Skill assessment tools like LinkedIn Skill Assessments or Test Gorilla can help you identify gaps. These aren't tests, they're roadmaps showing what to learn next. One aspiring risk analyst discovered she already had 60% of the required skills just from her finance admin job. Microlearning platforms like Coursera or Udemy offer affordable ways to fill those gaps. Their short courses fit into lunch breaks or evenings. Focus on skills you can immediately apply, like writing a mock technical document or organizing a sample dataset. Applied learning sticks better than theory. Niche communities provide insider knowledge you won't find elsewhere. The cybersecurity subreddit shares free resources and job leads. The technical writing Discord group critiques portfolios. These spaces help you learn the lingo and pain points of your target industry. Exactly what interviewers want to hear. Small actions create momentum. Think of it like planting seeds. Each small step you take today grows into opportunities tomorrow. Spend 20 minutes today listing your transferable skills. Tomorrow, enroll in that certification. The next day, join one community and introduce yourself. Consistency beats intensity. One barista transitioned to a remote sales role in 90 days by dedicating just 30 minutes a day to focused learning. The remote work revolution is here. By 2025, over 32 million Americans will work remotely, with 80% of companies planning to keep remote options long-term. These 7 hidden 6-figure jobs show you can break away from the crowd and thrive. From organizing data as a taxonomy specialist to predicting risks for Fortune 500 companies, your financial freedom starts with one bold choice. The only question is, which path will you take? Download our free roadmap below. It's the map to unlocking your future